Hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, Virgos, here we go. We are starting out with the Two of Swords, moving to the King of Cups. We got somebody who's blocking a lot of energy. They've got this mannequin in front of them. This King of Cups seems to be hiding his emotions. Now, it could also be that he feels somebody doesn't want to hear what he's got to say. I would say that is not true, but we definitely have an element of, and even here, the way he's standing, he's like, he's pining, he's wishing. There's like this forlorn, he's got a crescent moon for a head. There's definitely like an energy of like, I'm sorrowful, I'm sad. There's this energy of, I want to show my love, share my love, but I don't even know how to access, in this case, Virgo. Here's the thing. We've got lies being told here on both sides already, because we have two people that are like nose to nose on the other side of the veil here. And here's our Virgo up in their tree of life. And I always look at this like, one of those, like in the cop movies, where there's that room in the police station where there's got the one-way mirror, the one-way glass, so it looks like a mirror on one side, on the other side, the other person can look in. This might indicate that both people do some spying on each other and the other one doesn't know it. But normally the Hermit, because this is a Virgo story, I'm just going to read it as this is Virgo. But normally this would be, characters in deep thought on this like lonely journey. I would just say that thoughts of one another stay in each other's minds like all the time. And yet we have all this longing. And it's like, well, here's the thing. If two people are longing for each other, but the other one doesn't know it, it's like, okay, so I wish that they'd talk to me. And they're saying, I wish I could talk to Virgo, but nobody's making a move because they're both standing here pretending something totally different, right? With the mannequin's not a real person. We have a real person standing behind the mannequin, but she's blindfolded. So I feel like these two are making a lot of unnecessary conflict, contradiction. We have an Ace of Wands upright. And here we go again. I'm behind a closed, locked door, but I, emit this energy. In this case, she's like at an apothecary or something. But this could be, right now I'm going to say Virgo is coming across as a feminine, but it's like Virgo emits this energetic, like, I think of you, I send my vibes towards you, but of course we're not speaking. I'm on the other side of a door. I'm on the other side of the window, the pane of glass. I'm far away and I'm keeping you out while still simultaneously sending out these vibes like, come knock on the door, and I might unlock it. Instead, we have somebody like peering in at Virgo through this little peephole. So we obviously have some spying going on here. Obviously. And Virgo wants this person to come toward them, but maybe doesn't either know that this person is out there pining for Virgo, that this King of Cups is pining for Virgo. King of Cups, what are you doing? I'm moving real slow, real slow. I always look at this as like somebody who's doing like the Kalamatiano or some Greek, line dance here, something that's very, well, I guess Kalamatiano is not that slow, but something that is more like a Zorba the Greek dance or something. Like this slow, ambling motion that he's trying to move toward Virgo, but with such painstaking flourish that it's like you're not actually just making a beeline for what you really want to do. So you're prolonging agony. You're prolonging this feeling of, well, I'm blocked and I pine for my Virgo, but of course I cannot approach my Virgo. But slowly they are approaching anyway. Why are these two keeping blockages between them while yearning for each other? Because of what happened in the past. We've got a Page of Cups, and you notice that we have a two-headed mermaid here, and she's looking back at this skeletal face back in the past. What happened? I think that apologies are in order here. What happened? Two of Cups. I don't know if these two almost set this situation up to wind up being heartbroken. I'm not saying they did it exactly on purpose, but that sure is the net outcome here, isn't it? The Two of Cups energy should be, a story of love, two people that really feel connected to each other. But obviously, he's planted here as a tree, and she's this water nymph that comes up to visit him. He wishes he could hold on to her, but he can't because, she, you see the root that has wrapped over her foot. Like, God, I wish I could hold on to you, but she's free and he's not. This feels like a taboo relationship, or like these two feel like they are meant to be together, but right from the gate, they're like, but we have all these problems. He says, I can't go and join her in her world, but she could flit in and visit me in mine. What is this all about? Queen of Swords. And then she basically either got frustrated. It came to the moment of, if we're getting married, we should be partners. And then I think maybe she shifted into the Queen of Swords and said, I'm ready to be married to you. What are we doing next? This love story where it's like we want to be together, but we can't. There's this distance. There's a taboo. There's a reason I can't join you. All of this feels like then there was an ultimatum. Ace of Cups. Okay, so our Virgo took a big leap of faith and like really poured out their heart to this person, was willing to do whatever to make it work, but also expected something in return. So what happened in return? Death card, nothing. Virgo essentially was like left on red, like literally, especially after Virgo laid their heart out. I think Virgo maybe even is the one who brought up something about marriage, or because she's dressed in a wedding gown here, and spoke a truth and said, you're the person for me. You're the person of my lifetime. It feels like Virgo was so in love with this person, completely. Like, this isn't like humbling themselves to love somebody. When we love another person, that's when we're at our best and our strongest, I always think. But Virgo was fearless. Like, I love them. I'm, openly going to show it. I'm going to tell them that. I'm going to talk about the future I want to have with them. Like, I'm all in. And instead of this person, this king matching Virgo, it was like, all of a sudden it's just over. It's just over. I mean, Virgo's in this like death shroud thing going on over here. And, that death card, it's like, as it was almost as soon as real communication, real profession of love, and how serious Virgo felt, even though they felt the exact same way. Look, they're nuts and crazy about Virgo and have been all this time. They're in love with Virgo, but something about them says, I can't leave where I'm at. I'm a tree rooted here. I've got these birds in my head, like a nest. I feel like their mind was really murky about what to do, but they felt like Virgo was their Two of Cups as well. They're still in King of Cups mode. They pine for Virgo. They wish for Virgo. What is your big obstacle here, kid? What is your big obstacle? Five of Wands, arguing between their head and their heart. Now, maybe this is between two different people. Now, they are obviously madly in love with Virgo, but maybe they have duties to another person, perhaps something along those lines. If we keep seeing that they're rooted and they're part of a tree, so like a family tree. Two of Wands, you see this person having this duality, two different versions of themselves, one in a white gown, one in a red gown. Unfortunately, this very well, since we have two people standing here on the Five of Wands and they're racking their brain, going round and round and round between what they want and what they say they're allowed to have. I don't know. I hope it wasn't anything where they're like, I want to be with Virgo, but, my family wouldn't accept Virgo. If you're going to shove off love, someone who loves you because you're afraid mommy and daddy won't approve of you, then I would just say you're probably not ready for a grown-up relationship if you can't pick for yourself. I mean, I know it's hard to go against what family likes, but at some point that is what makes us adults, is that we choose for ourselves. And if we're not ready to do that, then we probably wouldn't have been ready for this kind of a serious connection anyway, because we still have a lot of work to do on like distancing ourselves from, mom and dad's approval or the need for that. I don't know that that's what it was, though. We have definitely somebody who was like looking at what their life could be, what they want their life to be, but what it isn't. I think that they tried to step into Virgo's life, Virgo's world, and almost imagine that they could be with Virgo. No wonder there's an apology in order here, because I feel like they played house with Virgo. They stepped out of their world, just escaped their world to come into Virgo's for a little bit. And it was wonderful. Oh my God. And it's like, and I just want to stay in Virgo's world. We have this Four of Wands, but again, with that tree. Were they already married to somebody else? Is that what this boiled down to? Married to the wrong person and then realizing all they want is to marry Virgo. We have Temperance in the reverse. This person kept so many like mind-boggling, confusing energies. Virgo's gut was thrown off. Virgo's instinct was thrown off by this person. You notice that we have all of these missing puzzle pieces. And then we have this little bird, this little messenger, this thing that they should have told Virgo and didn't. They kept a very big secret from Virgo. I'm thinking it's that they were already married. And that's why they were like, I can't marry Virgo. I can't come into Virgo's world. I can't do any of it because I'm rooted right here. I'm actually already married. That's what this is looking like in this fictional story. Knight of Cups in the reverse. They never told Virgo why I can't come to you, Virgo. Virgo loves me. It feels amazing, but I can't actually pursue Virgo openly and properly the way I should because I was only vacationing in Virgo's world. And I did not tell Virgo that. All of this is a huge amount of like lack of fairness. All of the, I'm guessing that this person like went ahead and indulged themselves, stepped into Virgo's world, fell madly in love with Virgo, probably out of the gate. They probably have been in love with Virgo from the very start. And that's probably why they went ahead and just pretended that they could be in Virgo's world. I see this as a person that was married and had, other obligations, and then instead fell for Virgo and wished that they could have Virgo too, but simultaneously was keeping the secrets from Virgo. Even here, Virgo might be locked away in the secret place in their brain. I picture somebody who like looks at pictures of Virgo or rereads Virgo's text, but like in the bathroom or something where nobody else will bother them, like some hidden file where they can reread Virgo's texts, loving texts, passionate texts, messages. They still, maybe that's how they spy on Virgo too, is, on the other side of a screen. This, unfortunately, this does not feel like a straightforward relationship at all. This feels very, very much like one of those scenarios where somebody should not have been pursuing Virgo if they couldn't offer something significant. Why did you choose to not tell Virgo that really important message? It was on the tip of their tongue. It was on the tip of their tongue with this bird that we have here on that Temperance card. And remember, this card was actually upside down. They should have sent this message, but it's like they were going to tell Virgo a bunch of times, like the real reason I can't actually offer you more than this, Virgo, I should have told you from the very beginning. I'm not in an uncomplicated life. But I feel like they couldn't deliver that message to Virgo. I feel like, and that further has complicated things. 3 of Pentacles, 7 of Wands. Here they are again with that bird brain. I feel like this person has tried desperately to figure out how they could possibly have Virgo in their life, how they possibly, and I'm going to say it bluntly, please remember these are fictional stories about fictional characters. It does look like this is a character, even if they never found a way to ask Virgo this point blank, but I'm wondering if they were wanting to ask, would you be basically my secret? Could we have a secret relationship? That you're the one I want to be with, and someday maybe I could arrange that. But until then, would you work with me and we can just keep us a secret? I think this is the conversation that they have. Their brain has been flitting around like a bird. When we say somebody's a bird brain, it kind of means that they're all scattered all over the place. I think the reason they know you can't ask something like that's even though that is essentially that's all they could offer Virgo. It's a far cry from honor and marriage and telling Virgo that they're in love with Virgo. This feels like somebody who, for whatever reason, they were really hoping that they could get Virgo to stay with them and accept what very tiny offer. They needed to get Virgo on board with willing to be the secret. That's unfortunately with that bottle of moon, and even them here still in this crescent moon and them pining and them holding their heart and them, looking away. This is like such a dramatized, like they are acting like we are, you're the love of my life. And here we are, tragically being kept apart. The only thing is, tragically kept apart, they're free to make decisions. They're simply not. And maybe that's why we have that Two of Swords, because it's like they know better. They know, and they're slowly dancing their way in this very like emotional, like kind of like I'm gonna someday maybe still talk to Virgo, be with Virgo. Until then, I pine for Virgo. I wish that Virgo would be with me now and be my secret. I don't know how to ask Virgo that. I've contemplated it 10,000 times, but it's the message I can't. First, I'd have to admit, Virgo, you already were my secret, and now will you continue to be my secret? You're the person that I love, but oh, cruel fates are keeping us apart because I am already married. I'm so sorry. This is very much, I get why Virgo, my doggy does not like this either. Okay. Sorry. I have, my mailman is here delivering something. That's my Aries. I definitely don't see this as an uncomplicated story. I don't know where Virgo's at currently, other than everything ended, especially when it got real serious. This person would have been forced to tell Virgo, oh, I want to marry you too, Virgo, but I forgot to tell you this one thing. We've got a King of Wands in the reverse. They're going to come across as very selfish, very, yeah, you did good. You did so good. What a good protector you are. Very selfish and very toxic. And that might be what Virgo already thinks of them. I don't know. What does Virgo think of them right now? Things being what they are. Queen of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, Virgo still pines for them as well. No matter what, no matter how much Virgo knows or doesn't know about this, may I just ask that, does Virgo know about the entirety, or has Virgo, intuited this? Or 5 of Pentacles, Virgo knows they've been left out in the cold. Virgo knows that everything came to a grinding halt, and Virgo still like pines for them for the day that, we could have had it all. But does Virgo know why there's things ended? Strength card, King of Swords. Let me put it this way. Virgo is definitely strong enough to hear the truth right now. This person needs to just come forward and tell Virgo everything. Maybe their circumstances are far more complicated. Not all things in life are, completely black or white. There's many, many shades of gray. Maybe this person needs to just come forward and tell Virgo the entirety of the situation, that message they never sent. It will probably take a lot of explanation, but Virgo is certainly strong enough to hear the absolute truth and then decide for themselves if, it would at least give Virgo the freedom to say, oh, screw you. I'm not interested in you anymore at all, if that's how they felt. Or to be able to sit down and talk. If these two are supposedly a 2 of Cups, they should really be able to talk about everything, every detail. This just says Virgo should have the whole truth. I'm going to leave that there. Because we have seen them meandering toward this. That's what that slow moving energy has been. It's just this person really struggles to get any kind of courage, because they know everything that they're really still going to be asking is, would you be my secret? I didn't tell you, you already were. And now I'm actually asking, would you still continue to be? Because I don't want to be without you, but I can't do right by you yet. So all I can say is they've been meandering toward this conversation. And all I can say in this is it says Virgo is very much strong enough to hear the whole truth. So, all right, I'm going to leave this here. Bye.